And it's the fantastic Friday edition here of the Bottom Line. Gang's all here, including the G-Man. Thanks for being here, G.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We just decided to put something together real quick. I've got way too much going on, needless to say. That's the way it always is. Needless, yeah.
Say.
I'm going to get my first scope coming up as soon as they get that scheduled. And still have no idea how I did it. None. But I've got a tear, and I didn't realize this, that they will not do a repair, okay, because after the age of about 30, you don't have blood flow to your ligaments, so they don't heal.
And they harden up, right?
Yeah.
Is that what they tell you?
Yeah, so they'll just clean it up.
Right.
They're just basically going to just clean it up.
That's crazy, man.
I did not know. I mean, I'm 65, so I'm doing, I don't know how this works, so I'm still trying to figure it out.
JR thinks you're 51.
I know. Well, he's my best friend.
Lanny's older than you?
Yeah. Always have been.
Huh?
Always have been. Bob, you don't need to be watching. You need to be out on the golf course. Glad to have you with us anyway.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of things going on. We didn't get a chance to get together last week, but first take, okay. Panthers looked pretty good on their first series. Of course, everybody went out after that, and It was against the Browns.
Yeah.
But the surprising part of that game, either Shedeur Sanders is better than we thought, or the Panthers are worse than we thought.
Okay, so I went and watched the Panthers. Their, I wouldn't say training camp, but it was.
They practiced on the main field.
They practiced on
the
main
main
field.
Bank of America.
Mm-hmm.
He went to watch it.
Yes, and I can assure you that I do think Shedeur Sanders is better than what we think.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Panthers' defense looks a lot better than their offense does.
Yeah. Well, they're still struggling, still trying to find some things.
And that's probably because they didn't run the ball, which if you don't run the ball, it's kind of hard. It's kind of easy to turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think Shedeur Sanders is a lot better than what we think. And then we also have the Panthers' defense did look better than their offense.
Yeah. Well, he does throw a pretty ball. Now, I'll give him that. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I watched the first half of that game because it was also when I'm awake. The game started early enough that I could watch it. But I was kind of impressed by what Shedeur Sanders brought to the game.
Yeah.
Now, I think, and this is just me, I think the reason that he dropped the way that he did is because they didn't want the circus that would go along with him, and they weren't completely convinced he was a starter. Just like when Cam Newton went to New England. He can't be a backup. Even if he's not good enough to start anymore, he can't be a backup because of the circus that follows it. And so I think that was a concern that they had, but we'll see.
Well, I understand that, and there's such a touchy-feely environment now where you just can't set expectation because you might hurt somebody's feelings. I think, we're getting to the point now where some of that's starting to go away, and you're starting to see now college coaches speak out about this NIL stuff, and they're talking about, when they played and the experiences they had and the meaning, that was meaningful. Well, you can't put a dollar amount on that. You can't quantify it. And, what they're talking about is things have gotten away from the intent. And when that happens, chaos ensues. It's like not being able to, set expectation. If you don't set expectation, then chaos will ensue at some point. And the thing with Shedeur, this is what I look for, Lanny. I look for the things he did in college and how they translate to the NFL, okay? So when I look at Johnny Manziel, his game in college was he could run around, outrun the defensive end, throw the football on the run, and he was great. He can't outrun the defensive ends in NFL football as fast as he was. He just couldn't do it.
No.
All right? Same thing with these other guys. When I look at Shedeur, he is translating the things that he did at Colorado. They threw the ball on third down like 70, 80-some percent of the time because they were always third and 18. He completed passes. He stayed in the pocket. He was like 73 or 74, 72%, something like that on third down completions. Like this guy, if I remember right, okay? Yeah. And again, I might be wrong, but I think it was that high, or his percentages were incredibly high. And the point of that is I'm seeing him take these things from what I saw the other night. Yes, it was a preseason game, and I'm okay with that. You know, the proof's in the pudding.
But I'm looking at mechanics and such.
Right. But what I see with that is I see somebody that's well polished. And I see him take those things from the college game that he did between the tackles and the ability to get outside and throw the ball.
The other concern, and I'm glad you brought up Baker, because the biggest thing with Baker is, and you've said this before, he wasn't grown up yet. He's just now matured from his thinking side.
Oh yeah,
he's a different player.
Well, he's a great player. He's one of the top 10 quarterbacks, if not top 5.
And we're going to talk about tiers in a minute.
Right.
But Shedeur was the same thing. There was some maturity issues there that they were a little concerned with because of reading his own press clippings and that kind of thing. And I'm sorry, I'm not into, well, kids will be kids. No, that doesn't float with me.
No, that's an excuse for
especially not
that's
in the quarterback position.
No, and I've heard people say it. Parents have said that in the past when they had discipline their kids.
Yes.
Like, well, boys will be boys.
No.
Well, what basically that means is my son did something stupid and I'm willing to make an excuse for it instead of sit him down and talk to him and say, look, if you don't correct these actions later in life like your coach doing, you're not going to have somebody like this the rest of your life. So it's going to be on you, you know, to make these corrections and understand that you are learning here. Shedeur Sanders, what my point to all of this is I look at when they play in college, what are the things that they do well and how does that translate to the NFL at the quarterback position, having played that position and understanding the speed of the game, all right? At every level you step up, and you know this because you played at at a very high college level, the speed of the game just multiplies by a factor of 2 or 3 every time you go from little league to middle school and all that.
See, here's the thing. So, do you wonder why we don't have many great Ohio State, Notre Dame, Alabama? Well, I can make an exception for them, but like Georgia quarterbacks in the NFL.
Why is that?
Because they sit behind an offensive line.
They sit behind an NFL
offensive line
with NFL receivers.
They throw a 5-yard pass to a 5-star receiver who takes it 75 yards to the house. Shedeur played behind an offensive line
that wasn't very good.
Yeah.
And yet still, while he still had good receivers, it all starts with the offensive line.
Right.
Well, but that's why somebody like a Josh Allen, because he had to do it. Yeah. He didn't have all those tools when he was in college, so he had to do it, and it was different. And so you see that, and it translates through. I've said before, I don't think that you can take players just because of the pedigree that they came out of, that they're going to translate.
Oh, sure.
Because sometimes it hides flaws because they had so much other around them that it made up for the flaws that they had.
I blame the media for this. You know, the first thing we hear when a quarterback comes out, boy, he is so athletic. Newsflash, 2 things. Number 1, please stop the narrative, okay? He may be athletic, but he's not faster than the defensive ends. That's point number 1, okay? Point number 2 are the things that they showed us in college. Shedeur Sanders, he showed us the ability to be elusive in the pocket, okay, step up in the pocket, throw on the run, throw against his body, and be accurate. He displayed those same characteristics the other night in the game. It was a preseason game, but the point is he is translating it from what he did in college to the NFL game. As much as I love Tim Tebow and think that, you know, there's a lot of teams been better off having him and just playing him than trying to make him a tight end, he didn't translate his game, according to the experts, from college to the NFL. Okay? Same thing is
and they refuse to adapt.
Well, think about it. Richardson now is a question mark. Levis is a question mark. The kid that came out 3 years ago that played at Tennessee or 4 years ago is a question mark. You know, are you playing a bad team? Yeah. But the point is, were you running around past defensive ends that weren't as fast as you are and making plays? If that's the case, then you're in trouble. And I hear the same thing with C.J. Stroud. The reason he had a down, and he still had a good year, but it was down a little bit, is because they had a year of video on him.
Right. Yeah.
The defensive coordinators in the NFL are some of the smartest people on the planet as far as being able to scheme and plan and take advantage of things that they see, not flaws, but areas that quarterbacks expose themselves. It's a very unfair thing. It's just like Jaden Daniels this year. How is he going to react? How is he going to be now that they've got a whole season of video on him?
In the video that I said that the Commanders were going to be second in their division.
Right.
Because Cowboys are awful, and the Giants may be worse. But I said that the Commanders are going to be second because Daniels is going to have an entire year of film on him because he played the entire season.
Absolutely.
Drake May did not play the entire season.
That's right.
Bo Nix, they ran the ball a lot.
Yeah,
with the Broncos
but he's got a very smart head coach
but that's
that knows how to bring
that's
him
where
along.
a lot of the key is to these quarterbacks is you've got to have diversification in your offense.
Yes.
Because once they get tape, once you get to that speed and level, you can't hide it anymore. Sandy, good afternoon. Mark, good afternoon. Brian, let's see. Kerry Edwards, Vance, good to have you guys. Thanks for joining us here on a Friday afternoon. Mark makes a good comment here. Mark says that's the reason you'll like this. Mark says the reason that NC State has good quarterbacks in the NFL is because they have bad offensive lines.
Who said that?
Mark.
He said what did he say again? He said what?
He said
I'm trying to find out what he said.
Bad offensive lines may be the reason NC State quarterbacks have had success in the NFL.
Right.
Mark's always got some good insight on those things. That's fantastic.
Let me go to tiers. Let me go to tiers right quick because I want to get your take.
Oh no.
Tier 1, and this is ESPN's
Is
Tier
this a
1.
top tier?
Yep. Tier 1. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts. Now, let me tell you first thing first, and this is one of the things that I think everybody's missing. Jalen Hurts is not the prototypical quarterback, but he doesn't make mistakes.
Okay,
he makes great decisions on the field. He utilizes everything around him. He doesn't have to take the whole team on his back. And nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to look at that.
I thought that you were going to say that Jalen Hurts shouldn't be in the top
tier.
Oh,
gosh, no.
Do you want to know who shouldn't be in the top tier?
Jaden Daniels.
Why do we have a second-year player in the top 10?
Because
in the top tier.
Yeah, because
1 year.
Because
it's
1 year, we had C.J. Stroud in the top tier, and look at what happened. They brought in a running back, and guess what? He took all the carries away.
Go tier 2, which is 5 through 8. Joe Burrow, Bo Nix, Patrick Mahomes, Baker Mayfield.
Great tier. That's
if
perfect.
But you know what makes Bo Nix? You know what makes Bo Nix Bo Nix?
Because he's Bo Nix.
Sean Payton.
That's what I'm saying. But his dad was a high school football coach. He played 6 years of college football.
Now Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes.
Yeah,
And it doesn't really hurt that he's got Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo and
Spags. But it is what it is. And Baker Mayfield is where he is because he made the commitment to improve himself, not as a player,
right?
But as
a
person. But you know what? He grew up. He took his time. He, maybe longer than what they wanted, but that is why he is there. I understand that Lamar Jackson is a great player, right?
Yes,
I understand that. I have no problem with that. But getting to the Dan Marino, even though he made it to a Super Bowl and didn't win one. There are some people that both coached, analysts, GMs, all those things that say that Dan Marino is a one-of-a-kind ever because of the revolutionary
passing.
You had not seen that in the NFL.
Right. And
that's not what quarterbacks did in the NFL when he came through.
No, they just hand the ball off, sat in the pocket or maybe scrambled a little bit and then slung it.
Yeah,
Marino could sit back there and throw to, I think it was Mark Duper and
it was,
but several other guys he could throw to. I don't. I like
no.
Jaden Daniels a lot, and I want him to have a fantastic career because he's such a great person too.
Yes.
But I think putting him in a top tier based off of 1 year and not a body of. I don't feel like 1 year in the NFL is a body of work. It is it is part of the body of work. But there's just not a lot of margin for error here, and he already played on the team that had very little expectation.
The next tier, 4 of the next 5, I think, are make or break years for 4. And this is, I mean, you're still in the top half of the league.
Right.
Is Trevor Lawrence in this tier?
Brock Purdy.
Not make or break. No.
Brock Purdy's production has went down as they've had to pay other players, and he doesn't have the people around him.
They've had injuries.
Yes. Kyler Murray.
Oh, I don't even want to.
Bottom tier.
I agree.
Bottom tier.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Justin Fields.
No.
Bottom tier.
Dak Prescott. He's another one. He doesn't have enough team around him to have the success he had early on.
He does now.
They won't break 500.
No, they won't.
Cowboys won't break 500. This one I think is low, but I think it's because he's been on such a bad team with bad coaching and management. Justin Herbert.
Love him.
I think Harbaugh will make a. I think Harbaugh will make a world of difference.
Tier 2. Herbert.
Instead of Jane Daniels is tier 3.
Yeah.
Or is tier 2.
I'm okay with that.
But I think my tier 1 is Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Joe Burrow. That's the only 3 I'm putting in tier 1.
Your tier 4, which you're getting like in the middle of your top half, Drake May.
Okay.
Jordan Love.
Yes.
Okay.
Caleb Williams.
Bottom tier.
J.J. McCarthy. You haven't seen him play yet.
Hey.
Trevor Lawrence. Here again, I'm not defending Trevor because he's a Tiger. That's a really poorly run organization.
That is maybe the worst run organization outside of the Cowboys or Jets.
Yeah, okay.
Cowboys are run beautifully. The Cowboys it's marketing. It's not about winning. They are run.
Jerry will tell you, if nobody's talking about me, I'm going to create something to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Press. It's just press.
And Jared Goff. That's in tier 4.
Okay.
Jared Goff should be tier 2.
What about Stafford?
Where?
Oh,
tier 5.
You got one more.
Tier 5. No, we got a couple more.
Okay.
C.J. Stroud.
Okay.
Tua.
Okay.
Penix.
Bottom
Falcons. Geno. Bryce Young is just in the bottom half. And Matt Stafford.
Hey, where did you find this tier? Where did you find this tier?
Just do ESPN quarterback tiers.
Oh, my gosh.
And then when you get down to the bottom, and there are some here that I don't know, Cam Ward, that's who you were thinking about, I think, for. Sam Darnold.
The guy out of Miami, yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. Anthony Richardson, which he's going to fall out now because of the injury. Daniel Jones. Russell Wilson. Kenny Pickett. Flacco. See, I think Shador's going to move up as the year goes on. Jackson Dart.
Shador's going to be the starter.
He's going to be the starter. He's going to be starting by week 6 because they're going to.
And Tyler Shuff.
Well, he's. Let me tell you something.
At the Saints.
That's Dad's favorite.
And Spencer Rattler.
Pretty good.
He's not an NFL quarterback.
Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, Rattler.
That's just me.
Oh my gosh.
There's so much. There was so much put on him so early.
Well,
and he hadn't ever stepped on the field.
Did he go in the first round?
Who, Rattler?
No, I don't think so.
No,
second
he went
round,
like the 5th round.
Well, then there shouldn't be any pressure put on.
Yeah, no, I was talking about when he came out of high school. And went to
Oklahoma. yeah.
There was just way too much.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, didn't he go to? Wasn't he at South Carolina first?
No, he's at Oklahoma, then transferred.
No, he was at Oklahoma.
Then to South Carolina.
Then at
I
South
couldn't remember
Carolina.
which one was first.
And I mean, he was. He did a great job at South Carolina. He, really, improved. I mean,
nice, Mark. Spencer rattled.
Yeah.
Mark just wants somebody to win the Super Bowl besides the Chiefs.
Well, that's probably not going to happen. True.
But here's the deal: when they're solid all the way around, what are you going to do? The Chiefs. The Chiefs are like the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
They're solid management, solid coaching, solid personnel. Yep. I mean, it makes a difference. That's why the Cowboys can't get it right.
They have the third best. They have the third best run organization in the NFL.
Who does?
Chiefs.
The Chiefs. Who do you like? Who's your top three?
My top three
Best run franchises
currently.
Yeah.
I would have the Eagles first.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because the way that they kept their faith in Sirianni, even though
I mean, yeah,
he should have been fired after last season,
Right.
But, and then the Lions. I'm about
Yeah.
to say the Dan Campbell.
Yeah, right.
But I'm not
What they
crazy
are.
about ownership.
For the Lions.
When you take because they don't make good personnel decisions, or they haven't in the past. That's why they're the
but
Lions.
they changed ownership, and
I agree, but
their
that
owner has gotten
like
out of the
Washington.
way.
Washington is better now than it was because they've got ownership that gets out of the way
Yes.
and lets it run as a football
yeah,
operation.
right,
That's
right,
what I'm saying. And the other one that you're going to find up there in the top is going to be the Broncos because they have an ownership now that
Yes.
will get out of the way. Brought in Sean Payton.
Yeah.
You'll do the right things.
What they did was they did a complete refresh. They hired Peyton, then they said go pick out your GM,
Yes.
and then that's how they wanted their head coach to pick out the GM rather than the GM to pick out the head coach.
They got to work together. And I tell you, the other franchise
And-
I think that's gonna, as much as I hate to say it, they're not going to be a contender immediately,
Who's that?
but they're going to get more competitive. Is the Patriots?
Oh, it's already happened.
They got Vrabel in there.
No, it's already
They're
happened.
they're
The
you know
culture is
Kraft.
in, yeah.
Kraft is not a bad owner,
Kraft,
and he'll stay out of the
it's
way.
an interesting situation with Robert Kraft because he will, specifically the Kraft family, but he will kind of keep himself in the picture, but off to the side.
He's in the loop, but not in the picture, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm anxious to see
Yeah. He's
what
pretty good
happens
about that.
with the Panthers because now Tepper's taking himself out.
Well, he had to. He spit on a fan. You know. He,
Well, I mean,
spit
he
on
just
him.
but Laney, we both know he,
Oh, I
he
know.
loves the limelight. You know,
Yeah.
he wants to be on CNBC
Jerry,
and
he's
all
Jerry.
These things. The problem is he all of that was such a dysfunctional chaos. And then when all that stuff was happening, you know, they were losing attendance, people were losing
Yep.
jobs. You know, it was impacting the local economy to some degree.
Yes.
Yeah, from what I've heard, I don't
They had
know
to-
that, but
He had to step out for the better.
yeah, I mean, you just had to hire Canales and then just move on.
Yes.
I still don't. The Panthers had a couple good players that they drafted. You know, obviously they've made some acquisitions. They let some guys go, but
to.
something. I'm just like it was last year. I think they're going to be like 5-12, and I hate that. I wish it was 12-5, and
I think they'll get
All
closer
that.
to 500. May not break 500,
I
but
said 8 and 9 in my
and I don't think
I'm-
the Ravens
I'm closer
are
to
going to have
8
a
and
good
9.
year. I
Who?
could be wrong, but I don't think the Ravens are going to have.
I
a
don't
good
either.
year. And I think that Cincinnati and just staying in that division.
If Burrows can
North,
stay
right?
healthy,
North.
Yeah, and let's talk about that division for just a second.
Okay.
They are 1 or 2 injuries away from being sub 500.
yeah,
You know, again,
yeah.
Just
you know,
one.
and well, yeah, true that. But
One.
but you look at Cleveland. I mean, it is what it is.
Cleveland's awful. That's the only way to put it.
And Pittsburgh basically is sold out 1 year to try to win a Super Bowl, and then I
If they
think my
don't-
thing is you know next year Watt's going to be gone. They're going
Tomlin.
to trade. You know, I don't know what's going to happen with Tomlin.
They're gonna trade Tomlin. And if they
No,
don't, then they're gonna
he
fire
will
him.
go. He will go into
Broadcasting, right? Yeah.
Okay.
He'll
Well, I
go
mean,
into
but he should.
But
I mean,
it's-
he's he's got a lot of perspective. He says a lot of things that are the way he says them, the words he uses are interesting. You know, he would be good at that. I just
the thing with the problem with Tomlin is, and there's others out there. Dan Campbell's one, Ben Johnson's one. They're culture builders.
Yes.
Tomlin is
Jim
too, but
Harbaugh.
then he can't get out of his way.
well, you take it to no, you're right. You take it to a certain point, but then you may need someone to come in and take it to the next level. That's the problem with like longevity of certain coaches in certain eras. Right?
I've said for years, I don't think any coach needs to stay anywhere over 10 years because it wears out.
Well, yeah, and that's true. Probably 90-some%. I mean, I don't disagree with that at all. But
Belichick and New
but
England.
there's I think what people don't understand is it's okay to close a chapter and then go somewhere with a fresh start, and start a new chapter.
Right.
And there's so much, well, they've been doing it a long time. I hear that quite often. Well, he's just been doing it so long. Well, that may be the case, but that doesn't make it the right thing.
No.
Well, the other side that they said, it was just like with Harbaugh, his first time around.
Yeah.
Oh,
the intensity wears thin. In college, you're rotating kids through every 4 years.
Right,
Every
But in the
4 or 5
pros, you
years.
may have a guy that's an 8-year veteran. He's heard that spiel, doesn't want to hear it again,
and
it worked. But I think Harbaugh has learned, and I think it will be different. And I think, I hate to say it, you're probably going to see the powder blue maybe go to another Super Bowl and actually win one.
Yeah.
They cost me
I
$100
agree.
the last time they went when Bobby Ross was there.
So let's talk about, let's do this. Who do you think going in, just 2 NFC, 2 AFC, who are the 2 teams that could win the Super Bowl, AFC, and the 2 in the NFC? Let's do AFC first because NFC is easy.
Yeah,
AFC.
Yeah, who do you think is going to who is going to be the final 2, and then possibly one of those can win the Super Bowl, but the final 2 in the AFC Championship? Who's it going to be?
I think the Bills can get there again.
Yep.
Yes.
And then I'm a little bit torn. I don't think anybody's coming out of the North. I don't think anybody's coming out of the South.
The South ain't even.
I think it's a toss-up between the Broncos and the Chiefs, honestly, out of the West.
Okay, so.
I mean, it's hard to count the Chiefs out, but
All right, what about NFC?
let me roll down here. Let me get to my NFC.
I mean, obviously the Eagles,
I know which.
right?
I know which
But
two.
who's
the
other
Eagles.
one? Who's the other?
I would not be surprised with a run from the Commanders. Just have to wait and see.
All right, who you got?
So
That's four or five.
I don't
really
like.
good
I don't
ones.
like anybody out of the
Hey.
South.
Oh, you don't?
from the NFC. I can see
The
I can see
Bucks. I mean, the Bucks being the only possibility.
That's who I like.
Honestly, I think the North has got the best division of any of them.
that. The NFC. No.
Lions and Vikings.
Oh yes, yeah.
And then maybe the Bears sneak in there a little bit.
no.
Bears.
are awful.
The Bears are gonna. Yeah,
West-
Caleb Williams will be out by the 4th week.
That's the key. If he can hold it together,
Hey.
if he can't, I think the Bears have got the right pieces.
They got the right coach.
Except
they got
for
the
that.
right coach. They got to fix.
In the West, I don't know who would come out of the West because you don't know the
Well, I can
status
see
of
the
Stafford.
Lions.
Rams.
I can see
And
the Lions.
well, you got Stafford.
Rams.
He's out with back.
See, I can see that with the Lions. I'm not sold on the Vikings because I don't know anything about McCarthy.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about
Yeah.
him. I don't know if his game translates from
But what I'm getting
college
at
to the
is
NFL. I don't know
is
that.
from coaching,
seen
personnel, other players.
Sure.
I like the way they look.
Hey, all
Go
right.
ahead.
So
2 and 2. Who is it?
2 and 2 for the AFC. I like the Bills pick. I don't have the Broncos nor the Chiefs.
Okay.
Who is it?
I like the Chargers the best from.
I don't think he's
that's
ready.
Fair. Well, that's fair. I mean,
He's
that's
going to be
fair.
there.
I
I,
like
don't
the
think he's
Chargers.
ready this year.
I
That,
like
yeah.
the Chargers
right.
from
Okay.
the best.
What
out
about
of those.
NFC?
And then the NFC, Eagles and Lions.
Okay, that's fair. Well, I think they're going to beat each other out. That's the only reason I'm not picking both of them. I think the Eagles are going to beat the Lions out, and I just think the Buccaneers are going to slip in and be in the NFC Championship. I think they're going to finish 500 or better in their division, and then they're going to start knocking people off, and somehow, it's going to play itself out where it'll be that way just because of the way the brackets will be drawn up. Yeah.
We just got to let the baker cook.
And
I'm just, there's.
I mean, I like I'm like Lanny. I think the Lions and the the Vikings, are very good picks there, but the Eagles are just too well. They drafted well, and the thing about them, their number 2s are solid.
Yeah.
Yes.
They don't have, like most NFL's teams, numbers 2s are not solid. That's why if somebody gets hurt, that's
Right.
why they take. Not the Eagles. They drafted so well and are
That goes
so
back
deep.
to ownership and
Yes,
personnel.
yes.
Hey,
Understanding
yes.
you've got to have those places.
Yes.
Brandon, good afternoon. Glad to have
Hollywood's
you.
the
Dave
best
Willis.
team in the NFL.
Yes, Lindsay, we know it's countdown to Chapel Bill.
And
And here's the deal. Here's the deal. If he
Lindsay.
doesn't win 10 games, he needs to be fired because they
They're
got
gonna
the
be in the-
easiest
They're going
schedule.
to be in the Sweet 16.
They
at
got
the
the
end.
easiest schedule
Yeah.
anywhere.
They're going to be in the 16 at the end.
Mark said Pittsburgh screwed up
Or
by not
12,
drafting
whatever.
Shador.
Yeah, no, he's right. I agree with that.
And Scott,
Well,
good afternoon.
I
Mac.
told you that.
And Lindsay said when you're talking about the Chiefs, go Taylor's boyfriend.
Go to.
I think he retires after this.
Yeah, well,
He
it's time.
should've
It's
retired.
time. It's time. And he's done
It's
a lot.
time.
And he's a good dude and all
for the
that.
people
But it's
that
time.
make the argument of, oh, he still needs to make more money. He makes more money doing his podcast with his brother
Oh, I
than
know.
he does with.
Did you see him? Did you watch any of the week before? I'm pretty sure it's the week
kinda like
before the British
Brock and-
Open when they do the American Century Pro-Am thing at Lake Tahoe. Both those guys are pretty good golfers.
Oh,
Both the Kelsey boys are. That's one of those things I don't miss because there's a lot of athletes play in it, and then there's some goofy people play in it like Charles Barkley and like that. But it's one of those things that. But when you've got guys that are the size of the Kelseys that can play golf, they're pretty good athletes.
Well, yeah.
That doesn't
Yeah,
translate.
no doubt about
Big
it.
fat boys don't
No doubt
translate
about
to good
Right.
golfers.
No doubt about it. Except John Daly. Right. He was real
Yeah.
skinny. Went early. All right. You read me. You know me pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
As good as anybody. You and Andrew, right? So I think that off the original question asked a minute ago, it's going to be Baker's team, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be Jalen Hurts' team. Is the two NFC teams, whatever are left.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think I'm going to say are going to be the AFC teams?
Surely to God it ain't gonna be the Steelers.
He's gonna say, "Hey,
Rodgers doesn't see the whole season.
Okay, that's fair.
That's fair.
I'm
Now let's
just
do
gonna
this
say.
because we're using hypotheticals.
Yeah.
What if he does?
if he does, then
That what if he does? Because they're not asking him to do anything except what he can do at his age. He's not asked to do anything else, and he doesn't have to be the superstar like he had to be.
But do they have enough around him that he doesn't have to be the superstar?
100%?
they have
Okay.
they have
100%.
I'll have to see
They have
it.
second
I'm
best
from
defense in
Missouri.
the
Show
NFL.
me. I mean, I just don't. I don't see
Show
it.
me the show me state.
I don't see
Love
it.
it.
I just
All right, but
don't
who's
see
the
it.
other AFC team?
Gosh,
I'm looking.
I'm trying to think of what Dad would pick.
Love Josh Allen, but I'm saying that they have a blowout.
Oh no.
Lamar's not going to do it.
Then you go back
He's
to
not going to
wait,
pick the Chiefs, nor is he going to pick the
Nope.
Chargers.
and you
I don't
can't
think any
and you,
team from the
well, you
West.
could go back to the Bengals.
Broncos.
Well, I said the Broncos.
Broncos.
I think the Broncos and the Chargers are still a year away. I think they need one more year.
Chess.
Oh, I know.
When everybody else
Yeah.
plays checkers.
Yeah.
And the way he went at Bo Nix last year when they were in training camp, and he's a rookie time. Well, he just doesn't do this, and he can't do that, and he just won't do this. All he was doing is Bo Nix is a very motivated, self-motivated individual. All he needs is somebody, if you've ever known anybody like that, to say, you can't do that.
But the other side of Ford, this
Right.
is the difference that
Very mature.
a
very,
Harbaugh, a Sean Payton, an Andy Reid,
Right.
Dan
that
Campbell.
these guys do, Dan Campbell, and I think Ben Johnson's going to be the same
Ben-
way.
Yes.
Yes.
They're going to evaluate and utilize their players to the best of the player's ability, not my playbook.
So being
I'm gonna bend my system to maximize what
yeah,
they have
yeah.
instead of the other way
I
around.
agree.
So you're telling me that they're going to lean on their playmakers pretty much.
I think
Yeah,
because
I do.
and do
So-
let,
I don't
allow
think
them
that- I
do
don't
what
think
they do
they're-
well instead of
right.
trying to reinvent the wheel.
That's right.
what
I mean,
Lane's saying.
I think so many coaches fail when they come in
So-
and preconceive. This is what we're going to run. This is what we're going to do. Now,
Or
in
this is who we
college,
are,
in
when you really
college, you
can't do
can
that.
you can
In
do
college,
that
you
to
can
a
do
certain
that.
extent because you recruit them.
Right.
I mean,
In the pros, you can't. High school's another one. You know, I told you for years, and Scott, if you're still on here, hey, Will Bennett, if you're still on here, I've always said Lincoln did it better than anybody else
You
around.
talking about Coach Conger?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lincoln would throw out the entire offensive and defensive playbook from the previous year if they didn't have the kids to run it and say, okay, here's what we got to work with. This is what we're going to run. We're going to be a veer this year.
Yeah.
We're going to be running shoot next year.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. They maximized what they had in talent,
Right.
and nobody did it better. Now, there are certain schools, which will remain nameless, that had to stay with certain schemes because they were limited. They didn't have a flush of athletes to come in every 3 or 4 years.
Right.
So you had to stay with different systems that would maximize what you had to work with.
What you had available in the pipeline, right? So little fact here for our listeners, Ben Johnson went to AC Reynolds.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When I was coaching football at Irwin and baseball there, Ben was a senior at AC Reynolds, and we scrimmaged them.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
And
a good friend of mine, Brian Craig, who's still coaching at Reynolds, he's a year older than I am. He went to AC Reynolds. He played baseball at Lenore Ryan. He was a very, very good high school football player for Reynolds Rockets. That's when they ran the box, Notre Dame box.
Mm-hmm.
They did all that ready, set, shift. Here we go now. Whatever it was they said, and that ball was high, and people were going every direction and crazy stuff. Ben was he was a pretty good high school football player. He was a very good leader.
I didn't know he was from North Carolina.
And what's interesting is I remember him very well. I mean, he was very steady. He ran the offense. I just remember that. We're in a scrimmage, so we're all there on the field with the kids and all this. And Brian and I were really good friends. We played against each other in high school, like in playoff stuff. We became friends then, and then over the years, just being around each other and coaching against each other, we stayed tight. So I would go over there with them and just watch their players and how they did things, just trying to learn stuff, because Bobby Poss was a coach up there then at Reynolds, okay? And I just remember the leadership of him at 16, 17 years old, okay, and how direct and directionally focused he was, and that he had the commanding respect because of the work ethic and the things that he put in of the guys that were in front of him. Like, he could lead them. He just wasn't a manager of the offense. He led that offense with the great running backs and a couple big tight ends they had, and a couple good wide receivers. Their defense was great. All those things. But I just remember him having those characteristics at that age. Same thing on the baseball field, his athleticism, all these things, doing all this. It doesn't shock me that he's gone into training camp and pretty much thrown the baby out with the bathwater and said, we're hitting like every day, every other day.
Right.
We're going to have live tackling sessions.
Right.
We're going to get tougher, and we're going to play football instead of trying to incorporate all this stuff into a game. Like, you can't incorporate 7-on-7 into a football game.
No.
Like, between number one, the field is too compact to do all this stuff.
Right.
And all it takes is, one or two extra guys on defense having a little speed, which your defensive ends do, and a lot of this stuff doesn't work. That's why the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and always will be, okay, unless they put 13 and 14 people on the field, or they take it down to 7 or 8, are going to be guys like Dan Marino, Tom Brady, Terry Bradshaw, okay, Peyton Manning, just to name a few.
Joe.
These were exactly, Theismann and Montana, right? But these are the characteristics, and what Ben is doing is he's bringing that back in. He doesn't care if Caleb Williams is an athlete. He wants him to make good decisions, take care of the football, and distribute the football. That's what he wants him to do. He wants him to take care of the ball and be mature and make mature decisions, not make mistakes, because that happens.
Yeah. Right.
But mature decisions.
Right.
And they got some stuff to think
Oh,
about.
I know. Yeah.
That I all I hear when I watch ESPN, I'm so sick of listening to it, so I quit watching it. Well, so and so's a really athletic quarterback. His ability to run around and
that's
scramble.
great.
Yeah, square peg, really small round hole.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
TJ Watt is over there.
Right.
Bosa is over there. The two kids or the Giants are over there. You're not going to be able to do that stuff. You can't do it.
Let me ask one final question before I get out of here. I did get one more call. G, I heard something this morning on Dan Patrick. He had Drew Brees on.
Yeah.
Okay, and they were talking because the quarterback position has changed.
Yes.
Okay, it's not pure stats like it used to be. They were talking about the QBR. And Drew Brees was talking about one of the things that people don't understand that need to be a part of when you analyze what a quarterback can do his decision making.
Yes.
Did he throw the ball away instead of an interception? Did he throw the ball away instead of a sack and negative yards? Instead of negative plays.
Yes.
There's so much more into it now, not just how many did I complete, touchdowns.
It depends on who you are.
It's all about, there's a lot of the mental side, the decision, and that's what you're talking about with Ben Johnson. He's wanting these guys to make the right decisions. Something when God rest his soul, when Tom was doing games with me, we would talk about can't get behind the chains.
He said
because
that all the
because
time.
when you get behind the chains, you've shrunk the playbook on what you can call to go do something.
Coach Brown always talked about advancing the football.
Right.
In whatever capacity you had to do
and
that.
your quarterback, a lot of times, is in control of that, whether the offense is going forward or going back. And if you're setting still, you're not going back.
That's right.
If you're in neutral,
advancing the football.
If you can't advance, I'll take neutral instead of a negative trying to do something that didn't work.
I remember that very well. Don't get behind the chains. He would tell me that in JV football.
Yeah.
Every night.
I don't know what to say.
Okay.
I can't believe you're a man with no words with your Harbaugh hat on. All right, we're going to wrap it up for a Friday. We'll get back in here, try to get this on a regular basis. Things get back a little bit to normal. Everybody's coming off vacation.
Yep.
We'll see where it goes. Everybody have a good weekend. Blue Devils travel to Watauga tonight.
Yeah, I believe they play
think Brandon.
Ash, and they play Watauga, Ash, and
well, he says scrimmage against the Pioneers. That would be Watauga.
But he was saying that they go to Watauga and they're playing Watauga. Mark was telling me. Mark Herman was asking me about if I was coming up tonight. He said that it's Watauga, Ash, and South Point.
Okay.
So it's going to be like a four-way whatever.
Yeah, they'll swap around. Yeah.
So
that'll
South
be a good
Point, hey, Red Bones come to town, baby.
South Point ain't quite what it used to be. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully we'll see you again next week if nothing doesn't happen. And this was kind of thrown together at the last minute, but we'll try to do it more often. Have a good weekend.
Some of the greatest things in life are, right?